What's up, you guys? This is Tim Trevathan with Tim Trevathan Homes on another episode of Talking with a Friend about a city here in Metro Atlanta. So you can learn more about the area for those of you that have thought about moving here. And if you have, definitely, you see my contact info on the screen. Love to get in touch with you. If you've thought about moving here, I can help you in terms of finding your dream home. Or if you just got questions or anything, feel free to contact me. Today on this sunny day, it's a Saturday morning, I'm here with my friend Elise.
Hi.
And Elise, she was, I guess, born and raised in Alpharetta?
Not quite, second grade.
Second grade, okay.
And then grew up in Alpharetta. So
Gotcha.
I've been there for like my whole life, basically.
A native and knows quite a bit about it, probably more than me, so that's why I have you here to help me out.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just want to kind of start by general impression of Alpharetta, but before we do, like, just what was it like growing up, and how has the city transformed?
Right. So when I was growing up, Alpharetta didn't have that much going on. It was a lot of just neighborhoods and hiking or walking around. It didn't have a lot to do, to be honest. Like high school, I don't know. Until you have a car, there's really not much you can do. We went to the mall. That's all we did. So they have a mall. But when I came back after college, that's when I saw the town start to blossom. And it was surprising because I saw people actually like coming to the area. All these shops and restaurants started popping up. And so now we have the Avalon is like our fancy like mall, outdoor mall area, and it's so beautiful. Like there's lights and people, and it's just like a whole thing built around shopping. And so that's been interesting. But also the downtown Alpharetta area has been just becoming more I don't know, a hipster, I guess. But like not. I don't know how to describe it.
Mini live, work, and play environment.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many restaurants, so many coffee shops. My favorite is Valor Coffee. They have just a little plug. I just would go there all the time, and they have a nice ambiance.
Check that one out. I've been in a lot of coffee shops, but I haven't been there, so.
It's quite good. They do a nice job.
So it's transformed, and you were living through that whole time period of seeing it right before your eyes.
Yes.
Touch on kind of like what are some, like, is this a place that it would be good for like young professionals? Because I know definitely for families, for things like schools.
Definitely for families. It's a very affluent area, so if you do get a job in the area, it's gonna pay well. When I was living in Alpharetta after college, I found a job as a teacher. So although my job is in Roswell technically, so there are lots of jobs, lots of good schools, good teams. People enjoy going to the sports. And
like I got a client that's planning to move here from Long Island, New York. And they got a job with Morgan Stanley over in Halcyon.
Okay.
I mean, definitely finance sector, IT jobs seem to be blooming left and right.
Absolutely.
What would be attractive other than jobs for people that are thinking of moving to Alpharetta?
It's very beautiful, and there's always something to do now. Now that I'm not living there currently, but having
close by, right?
Yeah, I'm in the next town over. There's the Taste of Alpharetta that just happened on Thursday, and just all these different vendors come, and there's music and concerts, and they have concerts pretty much I think every weekend.
Wow.
Where like out in the park, or they have a thriving downtown. They have a greenway, which is really cool, and it connects between all these different cities where people can bike and hike and just go walking, and it's just a really beautiful outdoor areas that you can go to. So those are the parks.
Right.
I like the park.
Yes.
But they also have like malls and like the shopping. The shopping is just crazy. Like it's just beautiful. Like you feel like you're, I don't know, on a movie set or something, because you're walking around and everything just looks so glamorous. So
yeah, Avalon, which is like the outdoor shopping area, kind of a luxurious brand, so to speak. And then
absolutely.
What's the name of the mall that's there? North Point Mall, right?
North Point Mall,
yes,
you're right. Oh my gosh, how did I forget?
I haven't been in a while.
Oh, that's funny. I don't know. Yeah, I would just go there and I'd be like, can I go to the mall? And that's
more of a traditional like indoor mall.
That's an indoor mall.
Multi-levels.
And it kind of people don't go there as much now because the Avalon is just so beautiful. But it's kind of upped its game as far as the theaters. So that the theater is now, it's like your seats, you can push them back and recline as you watch, and like the couch, and like they bring these food like items to you. Like it's very luxurious if you want, so they have a theater inside the mall and all these other shops inside that you can go to. I don't really go to the mall anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we get older, we got different priorities. Right?
That's for sure.
Definitely for, you got families, teenage daughter or son or somebody like that. They love to go there for
Absolutely.
a hangout spot.
Yeah.
So then, if somebody that's thinking about moving to Metro Atlanta suburbs from another city or state in the country, why Alpharetta versus, say, nearby cities like Duluth or Suwanee or Johns Creek even?
Okay.
Is there anything that stands out particularly about?
I mean, it's a nice, so the area itself is very affluent. The traffic is, right now, it's like very calm, and the streets feel wider. So I know when I'm in other towns, I feel very cramped on the road, and I just kind of get a little, I don't know, it feels stressful when you're driving, but when you're in Alpharetta, it just feels like you're cruising down, I don't know, it just feels very relaxed and suburban. You just kind of glide along.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how the
I know
city
Holcomb
feels.
Bridge Road's pretty crowded.
That's in Roswell.
That's in Roswell.
Yeah, so Roswell, now where I live, is very congested, and I was concerned about moving there because I grew up, living in Alpharetta for so long, I'm just used to like these broad open roads, and then to go to, they're broad, but they're just packed, just packed, which is, great for diversity, and there's a lot of people there, but I also just enjoy that it feels relaxed, but it also, it looks nice, and there's a lot of things to do outdoors, and the schools are good. I guess that, yeah.
I had one client who, he had a question or / concern that he was wondering that if he was to live in Alpharetta because of it being so affluent, are they affluent in a snobby type way that if you go there and live there, you got to be kind of at their level financially, status-wise, or is it just not like that at all?
I don't know, actually. I know growing up, like Alpharetta, when I went to high school, all the cars in the parking lot were kind of like brand names. I didn't really pay attention to that back then, and I guess I don't necessarily now, but I knew friends of mine felt a certain way about not having the right car or the right clothes. And so maybe that's universal, I don't really know, but I know that there is an expectation of sorts, but whenever I talk to anybody, it doesn't feel like they care.
Just from a
person to
face-to-face level,
Yeah, so that's a great question. I don't know. There might be. It's kind of a bubble in a way. I know that when I went to high school, we did not have a lot of diversity. So even, not just in people groups, but in like levels of income. So, I would go to people's houses and see like they live in like this mansion, and like I was living in a normal house, and like, okay, that was the only like disparity of income, right? Like there's a difference, but it's not like someone living in utter poverty. Like,
right.
So that was I don't know.
At least from your experience, you felt like you met some really great people, genuine, decent people.
Absolutely, they're very kind.
Friendships.
Yeah, people are kind and welcoming, and but it is a bubble. Yeah.
Speaking of diversity, you mentioned a minute ago, and maybe there's not as much there as, say, other places. What is it like now? Is it still kind of that, like,
now it's
not
getting
as diverse? Or?
It's getting more diverse. Yeah, I would say that's true, and especially with all the new stores and shops and restaurants, people they're getting to have more of a mix. Yeah. So that's kind of neat to see.
Interesting to see just Atlanta as a whole grow and explode over the past decade and a half. Because like I had mentioned before, like I'd gone to space camp when I was in my geeky high school days in Huntsville, Alabama, and it brought a lot of people from various states, neighboring states, and there's a one girl in my group, in my space camp team, who she kept saying, yeah, I'm from a suburb in Atlanta called Alpharetta, and I was like 17 at the time. It was like early 2000s, and I didn't know anything about Alpharetta, but I just kept hearing it from her, Alpharetta, and like all I knew about, Atlanta, like going to a Braves game or World of Coca-Cola, and then from that time when she mentioned it as a small town feel, it's just exploded in terms of population, culture, shopping, restaurants, things to do, jobs.
I remember I interned at the local paper when I was in high school. And I remember they sent me to the meeting, they're like a local government meeting, where they were unveiling these plans of the new downtown that they wanted to build in like 10 years. And I remember just kind of being worried because I'd never covered a government story before, but then also like it was a whole thing about parking lots, and I was like, oh, this is a lot. But then to kind of see all those plans come to pass was very cool. And a lot of times people say, oh, the good old days, things used to be so much better, but like I kind of saw the opposite. Like I kind of saw like things get a lot better in my town, and that was really neat to see.
Just like standard of living, quality of living.
The standard of living just like went up.
Yeah.
And so that's been really kind of fun. Yeah.
Yes, the only barrier is just the price point of homes.
Oh, that's true.
There's many in the 1 million range, but you can get them as low as 600,000, but very low inventory. Last I checked, there was like I think 20 homes that have sold in the last 30 days there.
Wow.
So.
People like living there. I liked living there. It was nice, and I never felt unsafe whenever I would walk out at night. I mean, I lived in a neighborhood where I could walk at like 2 a.m. High school, you just do whatever. But like, I never felt unsafe. Sometimes I would walk or like bike to school or run to school, like not run to go to school, but like they have trails there.
Right.
And so it's like I felt very safe growing up.
Well, any parting thoughts or?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, that sums up Alpharetta, I think, really well. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Again, if this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe. Check out the other videos. I've done a couple on Alpharetta pros and cons, and one on specifically Avalon Shopping Center. And again, if you thought about moving here, you can reach me however you want, call, text, email, however you want to get a hold of me. I'd love to be able to talk with you. Until next time, catch you on the next video.
Bye.